this computer? Okay, yay! We are gonna get started. Hello, everybody. I am excited about tonight. Our guest speaker, she's such a sweetheart. I was trying to think of when I met Katie. I don't know, Katie, did I meet you at Green Carpet or a boot camp?
Okay, this is so funny. I was that girl who just walked up to you just like so confidently, and I was like, hey, like just introduced myself out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it was at the Nashville boot camp just recently. I guess it was
Okay.
and then a lot of my team was like gawking over you, so I was like, guys, go meet her and just everybody go say hey.
Aw, yay, it was Nashville. Okay, I was trying to remember. I'm like, I know there was something, kind of recent, not that long ago. So yay.
Not that long.
Yay, well, I'm excited. I love that. I know I'll let you share your story with everybody, but I know you had shared a Zoom that you did before with Claire, and I think some of my leaders maybe have listened to it with just like how you build, and I just love, I can't wait for them to get to hear your story and then kind of what you do. And I just thought of something, Katie. You messaged me and said, what are we going to talk about? And I have it typed, and then I don't think I ever sent it. But anyways, so girl, I'm glad I'll let you get prepared. Oh my goodness. But we're good. I want you to share your story, and then I'll have you, after you kind of share your story, I kind of will dig into what did you do to build from like when you joined to Diamond, and from Diamond to where you're at now. We'll do some of that. And but let's start with your story.
Yeah, I'm so excited, guys, because I was honestly that girl who watched all these YouTube videos when I first started, and I watched all these other leaders, and I thought, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding? Like, I wouldn't ever have a story like that. I'm just your average girl. Like I believed a lot in myself, but it was kind of a funky time when I got started. So here's the juicy part, guys. I actually was a customer prior to becoming a distributor. I had tried the hair, skin, nails back in 2014, and I freaking loved that product so much that I was selling it, and I was just a customer. Like my mom and my best friend and all of them were ordering through the random girl that I ordered through. And this girl was some random girl that I saw on Facebook, and she was posting about hair results. So I reached out to her and I tried the product, and I loved it so much that one of my sorority sisters actually was a consultant 2 weeks prior to me joining. And so that's when I was like, well, shoot, maybe I could give this a try. I don't know if I'd be good at it or not, but I had a lot of fear. And I put all that aside because, guys, during this point in my life, I was so busy. And of course, those thoughts of like, can I do this? I'm on such a busy schedule. I was in college. I was 20 years old at the time. I was taking 19 credit hours, which is literally like the highest you can take. I was also working 3 jobs. I was a dance instructor. I worked at a clothing boutique, and I also babysat a lot. On top of all of that, I was a sorority girl in Phi Mu. And on top of that, I was a ministry leader for a student organization. So my life was like I was living with my head chopped off, and I was in my car going from one place to the other, eating fast food. And I would have just ultimate breakdowns where I would just cry and sob, and I knew that this was not the life for me, and I knew I deserved more. And I decided that this could be what I could do. And so I sat down with the girl. I joined on February 10th of 2015, and I never looked back since. This has been literally the best decision of my entire life, guys, because it allowed me to do so many things I could have never dreamed of ever doing. And I'm so excited to share that with you guys tonight because for me, I started off really fast. I was so excited because, I had this new opportunity, and I was also really fearful. So I used that fear to propel me as fast as possible. I was talking to people. I was rapping people. I was going from condo to condo, apartment to apartment while in college. And I had my little bag, and I was just walking around like in the middle of night. And I could have gotten jumped, whatever, but they would have found raps in my bag. But it was so amazing because I made $275 cash my first week in the business, and I saw what kind of potential I had. However, I will tell you guys, I was that girl that couldn't gather her first 4 customers all that easily. And I thought that I was a failure. My first month in, I actually called my upline and I was like, hey girl, I quit. I'm done. And I almost quit. Oh my gosh. Like, what is wrong with me? But here's the thing. I was so negative. I was so closed-minded. I did not know that I could open myself up and grow as much as I've grown. And so after she kind of encouraged me, I kept going. I went Ruby in my first 2 calendar months. I earned myself a $1,000 Ruby bonus, and then my boyfriend joined me, and we earned him a $1,000 Ruby bonus, and then I hit a big slump. So a lot of times people don't talk about that kind of stuff, but here's where I love to talk about it, because I put my business on the back burner. I went into an internship, and this was where I was wiping 3-year-old butts all day long because I was a child and family studies major, and I was working in like a preschool program. So it was definitely something I didn't really enjoy. The kids are precious, but I couldn't imagine myself doing that for the rest of my life. So I hit this slump where I was so busy that I let that be my excuse. And my business really, really suffered during that time. And I kept saying excuse after excuse after excuse until finally I realized how much I hated that internship, right? I had quit all 3 jobs to be able to do that internship. And I knew that I had to do something about my business. And I realized I could do this full time. If anybody else could do this, I know for a fact I could do this. And that is when everything changed, guys, like literally 360-degree change, because I threw all of my eggs in a basket. I said, screw this. I'm changing my major. I went all in. I called my mom. I called my dad. They weren't too happy, but that's okay, because I said, I am doing It Works for the rest of my life. This will be my career. This will be my full-time job. And I committed to that. I pronounced that every single morning when I woke up. I was telling my friends that when I was graduating, because I was a senior, I was not going to have to get a job. I went to a conference, which changed my life, guys. For the first time, I had no money to my name. So just saying, if you don't have any money, I have a really funny story about conference, and you'll have to hear about it one day, because I literally had nothing. And I still went, and I came back home on fire, and I went from Ruby to Emerald to Diamond to Double. I earned during that time with my boyfriend combined $76,000 in bonuses. And then that spring, May of 2016, I graduated college, and I've never had to go interview. I never had to get a job. And so this is my full-time job. Both Ryan, he's in the living room, and I work from home full-time. I'm 23 years old, and this is my life. And then right after that, all the excitement kept going. I went triple diamond, and it just keeps growing from there, guys. So the biggest thing I have to say is that I got over myself. You know, that moment when you're either like half in or you're all in is going to depict whether or not you are going to be successful. So for me, I worked this business like a hobby when I first started. I was really excited, and then I hit that slump. I didn't know how to work this business. I didn't know what to do. I had tried everything, and I literally mean that. Ryan actually tried Tinder as a form of getting potentials. So if that, blows your mind, that's kind of the things that we did. We did everything. We did flea markets. We did Tinder. We did Facebook. We did, Instagram. We did out in person, ninja blitzing. I mean, we did it all. But that's the kind of effort that we decided to put in, because we knew that this is what we wanted to do full time. And that was the difference that made everything change in my business, was just deciding I'm all in. A lot of the time I watch people take a few baby steps into this business, and they work it, they maybe post, they maybe say they're doing this, but then they're not full throttle. Their why isn't strong enough. And that's something that I'm going to encourage you guys today to just sit down and really dive deep. If your enrollments have been low, if you're feeling no energy, if you're feeling as though you're in a slump, maybe you are. Maybe you need to kick yourself in the butt and say, let's go, girl, because God has a plan for you. And I know that it's not that just to be there sitting complacent. It is there to change lives. Your plan is to have as many people enter into your business and say to you, you are the reason why my life is completely different. And that is why I continue to do what I do every single day.
I love that. And I love that you say, Katie, so when you started, you were like, it wasn't like you start rip roaring ready to go. You're like, okay, kind of like struggling to get those customers. You wanted to quit. So you easily could have quit and you wouldn't be where you are today, which is just crazy, that, yeah, those thoughts come. So tell me this, what do you think caused the mind shift? Like what made you decide? Because I think it's very mental. Like at first you didn't really think you'd be good. So you weren't doing good because you didn't think it. So you weren't signing people. You're like, I can't really do this. And of course you're not going to sign anyone when you're like that. What made you think I can sign people? I can sign customers?
Well, the funny part of my story is I was really involved in my sorority. And what happened to me that changed everything was the feeling of I am going to prove y'all all wrong. Because what happened to me was really an uncomfortable feeling. Sitting in my room of a ton of sorority sisters that were supposed to be my best friends, and my president of my entire sorority gets up in front of everyone and says, anyone that is in It Works Global, you may not say that that is your job. You may not say that that is your place of work, because we are trying to recruit girls into this sorority. And if you dare say that that is your job and that you have products, you will be kicked out and called to standards. My jaw dropped. And it's so funny to me today because I lost 3 girls. And you know what's so funny? I didn't take that and give myself a face plant in the mud. Instead, I turned that around and I was like, you know what? Screw y'all. I am going to show you that I'm going to be the person that shows you that anyone can do this. I'm going to be that girl that can do this. I don't care how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to show you guys. They also wanted to give me a superlative that was most likely to sell you a wrap. And I said, all right, let me show you guys. So again, the very next year, this was my senior year of college, I got a superlative that said, most likely to make it work and become a millionaire. And here I am today, proving them wrong day after day. And it's so funny watching them on social media where they're struggling. They graduated college, they didn't get the job of their dreams. And here I am working from home full time. So it's so cool when you take that and you don't let it depict whether or not you're going to be a failure. You're going to use that as fuel and as fire. And that plus the combination of me deciding I'm going all in was everything to do with what allowed my business to take off and have 110% energy right after that. And your team will feel that energy. And that is what is so important, is the energy and the mindset that you have every single day. Every day, guys, I wake up and I speak life over my business. I have affirmations that I have in a little picture frame from Target that I literally say every single day. I'll read them to you guys. So, maybe some of you guys want a new affirmation or you want to try this. It sounds crazy, but I have a mirror in front of me right now and I scream at myself every morning. And I don't care who laughs at me. It's usually Ryan, but he does it with me. So I don't care. We know the power of speaking things into existence. And if you've ever watched the movie called The Secret, that really changed my business. I was a young girl. I was a college student. I did what all of society did. I talked bad about people. I thought I was this, negative life. I had so many different views on what a mindset is. And I had to grow. And that is what I love so much about this business, is the growth that I've had, not just financially. That's not at all what this business is about. This is the growth that I've had as a human being and the growth that I see in my team as well. So here's my affirmations that I say every single day, guys, and I love them. They really, really, really do work. So I say, I focus on the Lord at all times, and I have strong faith in His plans for me. I am happy to be making $20,000 monthly. Each of my legs are signing rock stars who enroll high numbers daily. My customers and distributors flock to me daily. My volume jumps up by the thousands monthly. My leaders make 5-figure monthly paychecks, and I am living in financial freedom. So this is just from Target, and I put it in there, and I read it every single day out loud, and I preach that to myself because, yes, guys, you're going to have those negative thoughts come in. I've had it several times, almost every single day. Like, 9 times a day. You're not good enough. That girl over there signed more than you. That person has more Christmas cash than you. This person has a better looking Instagram than you. That person rocks it on Facebook more than you. That person promoted to presidential faster than you. Those are the things that I cannot compare my business to, because God has a journey and a plan for me, and I have to find my growth through each and every step, through each and every challenge. And so that is why I speak life over my business, because I know that the devil is going to try to eat at me every single day. So I hope that that really helps you guys as well, because it is so, so powerful.
No,
so
I
another thing I do, just to start my morning, is I also do the affirmations, but I close my eyes, guys, and it's not really meditating because I don't even know how to meditate, but I close my eyes and I do like visuals. I visualize myself on stage. I visualize myself doing something for others because of that paycheck that I just got. Whether it's, helping kids for Christmas or whatever it may be, that's what I visualize. On top of that, I write, because I have a to-do list. It's a Lily to-do list planner. It's the best, by the way. And I write what I'm thankful for. So every single day, I am so happy and so thankful. And then I also, I do a devotional every single morning. And that is how I start my day off, guys. And it literally kicks my day off so well. So I hope that some of those tips really help you guys as well.
No, I mean, I love that. I just got done listening to Tiffany Patillo had recommended The Magic of Thinking Big, and I keep all the diamonds that are on my diamond group. I mean, and that's like, a couple of the chapters in there, he talks about writing out, your 10-year plan, and that's what I did today. Like, if I go to my notes and he's like, it doesn't matter what it sounds like, you're never going to get there accidentally. Like, you have to have that goal set, even if it sounds crazy, and I won't read mine because it does probably sound crazy, but I'm like, I'll just give you proof that there's my 10-year plan, and I sent it to John. Well, actually, I sent it to John today and said, here's my 10-year plan, what's yours? And he said it's to live 10 more years when I reach the 10-year plan. But that's not good. No, but no, I think it's huge. I think you have to see those things. And I always say, you have to see it, believe it, pray for it, work for it. That's kind of like my thing, like that I always say, and that's how I treat my business. So I love that. And I think that's probably that is a ton of why you're where you're at. Because, I mean, you just, if you don't believe it's going to happen, it's not, and in the book, I don't know if it was on our Diamond Zoom last night we had, that I was even talking about, the author, was just talking about when you believe something, it actually does something in your brain with your neurons and blah, 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 like all the science stuff that was way over my head, but it causes you to think of things on how to make that happen. And it's so true. Anytime I talk to someone and they're like, oh, I'm in, a funk. And it's like, well, what have you been doing for your business? When's the last time you rapped somebody? When's the last time and it's like, well, I haven't. Well, yeah, you've been in a funk, so you haven't been doing anything,
Mm-hmm.
And it's the whole, inactivity creates fear, action creates courage, and so I love what you're doing at such a young age. You're a baby, but oh my goodness, like I love that. Like
that's why I have to do it, because my mindset was so different. You have to grow yourself. If you look at yourself a year from now and you're the same exact person with the same exact mindset, is that who you truly want to be? Or do you want to be someone who is empowering others through your leadership and through the words of advice that you have gained because of maybe the books that you've read or the juice you're getting from your podcast? Whatever it may be, that stuff is what's going to power you up and gain you significance so that you can pour out to your team. I cannot pour out into my team unless I myself am filled up daily. So it's really, really important.
No, I love that. And Stacy, my sister Stacy said that Miracle Morning talks a lot about, the visualizing as well. Miracle Morning is another really awesome book, but I love that, Katie. Okay. So you joined, and you had that mind switch. You went from thinking you couldn't, you having a hard time getting your 4LCs, to going Ruby in 3 months, and then came Diamond. So you decide you're going to do it. Take us here. You decide you're going to do it. what do you start doing? What are those action steps? Because you didn't just blink and go Ruby. You didn't just want, wish to go Ruby. I know you mentioned, going around the campus and stuff, had your bag. So what did you do to sign those people? You had to sign distributors and customers. Were you asking people you knew? Were you having wrap parties? Did you create a 100 list where you were messaging? Tell us, what did you do the first part, to Diamond?
I am huge on social media.
Okay.
So that doesn't mean that I don't do everything else, because I
Yeah.
do. I do everything. I'll do a party and I'll do that online, or I'll do it in person, or I'll do things where I go and walk around and I'll wrap someone. So I'm keeping consistent in that. But most importantly, I worked my way to Diamond and Double Diamond that year of 2016 through social media. I am such a believer, and a lot of leaders aren't, and that's fine, on messaging. Now, it doesn't have to be what everybody's saying is a cold message. These are messages that I have literally spent time and prayed over. And praying over your messages is very important, because these are messages that are going out to people and they are being reached on, and they're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. But that's why I have such strong enrollments. And that's why at that moment when I was going Diamond and Double, I was signing 20, 30, 40 customers in a month. And I still am able to do that consistently in the year 2017. I signed consistently 20, 30, 40 customers a month, and around 5 to 10 distributors every single month as well. So that is what changed my business. It changed the name of the game. But for me, it took trying everything else to find what worked best for me. I think it was Jocelyn Yates that got me onto Instagram, because I didn't even really know it was a thing. I had it when I was in a sorority, but I didn't ever utilize it. I used Facebook when I first started, and I was really out in person when I first started. So social media was a new thing to me, but at that time I was posting, and this was a year ago, so I was posting 8 times a day, every single day, and I was reaching out to people as much as I possibly could. And that is what gained me so many new distributors, new friends, and new customers. And those people that I planted seeds with, even back in 2016, are still joining me to this day. And same thing will happen. All of the seeds that I'm planting in 2017 will be all of the people that I'm talking to again in 2018. So when you're planting those seeds every day, that is what is going to cause you to have such amazing harvest and get you out of those slumps. So after conference, I realized I had to go all in. That's when I went Emerald, Diamond, Double, and I put in work. And I mean work, guys. I did not treat this at all anymore like this was a hobby. I wasn't just posting and waiting on people to come to me. I was really sitting down at Chick-fil-A, which is my favorite freaking place on the planet. And I sat there, and they actually made fun of me, not in a bad way. They're so sweet there at Chick-fil-A. But they're like, "Are you coming to your office today?" Because I had this like back corner that I would go and work at, so that I didn't feel lonely. Because Ryan at the time, he was in nursing school and he was busy, and I didn't want to be at home by myself doing all this work. So I was out, and I was wearing my shirts, and I was working through social media as well. And I had a lot of people who watched me at Chick-fil-A, and they joined me because they were like, "Girl, what are you doing?" So that's what I did to make it to Diamond, was just reaching out about customers and distributors. And it was the best feeling in the world, guys, going Diamond. I will say that that was my favorite promotion in all of life so far, because I realized how much money you can make as a Diamond. I had never seen a comment in my paycheck until I went Diamond. And I'd never, literally at the age I was, never saw that. I never knew that was possible. Another thing that changed my business that I honestly don't really share very often, guys, but I want to get really transparent with you guys tonight. My parents got a divorce, and that ripped me apart. I realized that this wasn't where I could ask my parents for any more income. I wasn't going to be able to call up my dad or my mom and be like, "Hey, can I have a few dollars to go get my nails done?" Like, that was never going to be the case anymore. because this divorce like ripped them apart, and it ripped me apart, and it changed me. And it changed everything about why I was doing this business. It was to prove people wrong, to prove my parents wrong, that I could be an independent girl at my age and pay for myself financially. And it still shocks them to this day. So I just want to really encourage you guys that if you are having like a moment in life, have that moment. I know so many people on my team, you know, are having family members and having deaths, and life happens. It's totally okay, but don't stop your business in that moment. Use it. Use it to fuel you or encourage you, and don't let yourself get into that dark time, because I could have easily, I really, really could have, but I used it to propel my business and allow me to go diamond and double that year.
I love that. I mean, yeah. And you took all those things, and instead of those, you know, being reasons why you stopped, yeah, you have a moment, but you kind of use that to like propel you and incorporate it into your why. So you were reaching out. Okay, Katie. So give us like an example. So like if you, and I know, you know, everyone's got something different and you change it up, but if like you were to reach out to somebody, like, what's kind of like something that like you feel like you would say like, okay, I feel like this girl, I've seen her on social media, I think she'd be good at what I do, or maybe I went to college with her or whatever. Like, what's something you would send?
I use text replacement, which is,
we love that. I love that.
yes, it's so amazing. So I don't even know what I send. It's like I send it so fast. But I say, if let's say someone is a mom and I look at their profile before I message them, that's really important. Excuse me. The first one I'll send is about being a distributor. Hey, I've been watching your page for a while, and I love watching you post about being a mom. We have a lot in common, even though maybe I don't. I'm going to find something that we do have in common. Like, I'm not a mom, but I'll find something. Okay, so that's why I say that. And then I'll say, have you ever considered making an income from social media? I've been working from home using social media for about 2 years now, and I absolutely love it. And I see that you have a great presence on social media. I think your pictures are beautiful, and I know you'd be really successful at this. Would this be something you'd consider? So I don't really say, are you interested? I use different wording. You know, would this be something you'd think about, or would you consider? Like, if someone asked me that, I'd be like, okay, maybe I should at least keep my options open and give it a try. Why not? When it comes to being a product tester, and if it's not a mom, I just change it up. I just change the wording.
Yeah.
But if it's a product tester message, it's the same one pretty much. I am always leading with a compliment. So every time that I'm reaching out to someone, it is like, hey girl, you're beautiful. I love you. Like blah, blah, blah. I like spit up on them. Like they're like, who's this chick? But that's how I am. And I have never, guys, never, like, I'm not going to say never, because there's been a few times, but really hardly ever have I had someone come back and say, you're rude, you're spamming me. It never happens. That's because the messages that I'm sending are so genuine. And I think that's what's so important is maybe if you're getting some negative feedback, then look at your message and see what you're saying, and maybe try to relate to that person a little bit more. So here's what I say. Hey, I was wondering if you would want to be a 90-day product tester for me using one or some of our products. I'm looking for 2 people right now. I came across your page and think you're gorgeous, and I would love your help to build my portfolio. You would get a huge discount for helping me out. Would you be interested? So that's what I say. And those are like literally all I use. So I prayed over these messages when I was coming up with them, and I used them, and they worked for me. And guys, I came up with a quote because it became an aha for me. I noticed my enrollments were going down, and I was always very consistently enrolling the same amount of numbers. And then I realized, you know, things change in time every once in a while. And so I came up with this quote that says, if you raise the rate, or if you raise the numbers, you raise the rates. So what that means is when I started raising the number of people I was talking to, I was raising the amount of enrollment rates that I was getting. So if maybe I was having a bad month and I was like, why is like only a few customers enrolling? Like why, you know, I was questioning that. I was doubting that. And I was like, you know what? screw that thought. I'm just going to talk to more people. Like, that's all I got to do is just, it's like reaching out, you know? I used this example on that Zoom with Claire because she was so skeptical. She was like, I told my team not to do this kind of thing. I told my team not to message. So what do you have to say about messaging? My honest opinion, guys, is like, you got to think about Jesus and his disciples. And he had 12 disciples, which could be like your team members, and you are Jesus for a minute, okay? And you are reaching out to gain more followers. You're reaching out so that you can speak life into those people. And whatever your message is that you are talking to them about, you're reaching out. That's exactly what changed my business, was realizing this isn't something that, you know, I've got to hold back. I can't hold back this amazing opportunity that changed my life 360. You know, there's going to be people who join my business and their lives aren't changed. You know, they're going to quit day one. Like, they're the kidnappers. That's fine. But they didn't want their life to be changed. I'm here to help people who want to have their lives changed, and I want to be the leader who helps them do that. So think about that for a minute and be that leader who teaches your disciples to do the same. It's very duplicatable. What I'm doing is every single day I message, and every single day I reach out to people. So I guess I was always that type of girl that loved being like on the Zoom, and I would always ask the same question: what do you do every day? Because guys, I'll be honest, when I graduated college, I did not know what to do with myself. I'm a very busy body. I love to be busy. And when I graduated, I didn't have anything to do. I just had the business. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a lot of friends. They all left. I mean, they all graduated and moved. So I was really depressed. I'll be so honest. And this was actually after I went double. And this is what caused me to kind of take a little bit longer to go triple. I sat there and I didn't know what kind of schedule I needed to do to work my business properly. I would just go and walk the mall or waste my time watching movies. And I was pretending to work my business because I was full time. I thought I had all the time in the world to work my business. And it didn't work out that way. And when I finally came out with a schedule that worked best for me, everything changed, and I love my days now. I love how much energy I have. So, you know, I'll sleep into whatever time I want to sleep in, and then I go over those personal development things I do every day, which is affirmations, gratitude, personal development, you know, devotionals, and my meditation or vision meditation, whatever you want to call it. And then the next thing I do is I jump right in at 12 o'clock into messaging and reaching out. And I have alarms on my phone, but I remember it because it's just 12 o'clock, you know. And I reach out to as many people as I can. But again, you know, with new social media rules, you have to be careful to not get blocked. So, you know, every once in a while I'll send about 25. Sometimes I'll send 10 an hour, but it really doesn't take me that long. So that's what changed my business, was that if I send out 25 messages, you know, for example, it would take 15 minutes or less. And then I would go and I would make my lunch, or I would go and I would paint the walls, and I would give myself freedom to go and do whatever I wanted to do for that 45 minutes. And my team was following suit. So at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and we still do this to this day, we have a morning crew. And my morning crew is who is maybe they're full time with me, or they have their shifts, like they're a night nurse or something like that. And so this is what works best for them as well. So a schedule that worked best for me also really worked well for my team, because we would do Zooms and we would do work Zooms too. And it would be really fun. So at 12, 1, 2, and 3, we would get on and we would do some fun work together. And it builds us as a relationship, you know, a really strong team. And then I would go work out, and then I'd come back and I'd do it again with my team. And maybe I'd switch it up. So instead of being on Instagram, like I was on Instagram in the morning, because I work 50% Instagram, 50% Facebook, then I'll be on Facebook at night and doing the same thing. And I love that because my team will also do the same thing. And we do Zooms. And like last night, we were just jamming to some rap music, just hanging out. And it really gets everybody amped up. And they're having strong enrollments as well. So that's what I do throughout my day. But I know that I wanted to share with you guys another tip that really changed me on Instagram, which is unsending and resending messages that you've already previously sent. Because a lot of times, guys, people don't see those messages. You can see that you can, on Instagram, for example, you can see the scene or not, but they sometimes just like go and do whatever else. And same thing goes for following up. Sometimes people just like have life happen. And so that's why it's so important to follow up. But that's why I've been sending and unsending messages. And it literally, that's where a lot of my enrollments have come from, is not necessarily from the prior cult or message, whatever you want to call it, but it's been from the unsending and resending the messages I've already sent. So it's been really cool. And then, guys, I've built through social media from adding to my network all the time, because I'll be honest with you guys, I went like really, really like, woo, went right through my what do you call a warm market, which is my close friends and family. And then I didn't know what to do. And I really just like needed something to propel me and get me excited and have more people to share this business opportunity with. And so that's where adding to my network really came into play. So I'll add at night. A lot of the times, because people are very active at night. And then also, if you have different apps like Cleaner and Captivate, which I'm sure you guys maybe already know about, you can put on a night mode and it just runs throughout the night while you're snoozing. Just make sure not to lock your phone. I had to learn that the hard way. But that is my to-do list every single day. Like, I literally have it right in front of me right now. I don't know if y'all can read that. Probably not. But it starts with my personal development, Facebook, and then I'll do Instagram. I'll send and unsend. I use my apps, Captivate and Cleaner, and I add to my network or I unfollow. And I work with my team on our little fun power hour Zooms, and that's what I do. And it's very consistent.
I love that. And I love that, and everyone's different. Like, someone on here, they might be like, well, I'm working 8 to 5, or, at the end of the day, what Katie's saying is, she's got her, 5-6 times a day where she spends 15 minutes, sending some messages to new people, because it's true. Like, so how many would that probably be a day? I mean, if you're sending 6 times a day for 15 minutes messages, you can probably do 25 each time. So you're probably sending like 150 a day at least, So that's what she's doing, like, to work her business. She now is, she's a triple diamond. So she's, probably making 6 figures, and she's spending an hour and a half sending messages, and then following up. And so is it work? Because I know, like, it's easy to be like, oh, well, that's a lot, but it's like, yeah, but this is a job. Like, think of what you would be doing at your full-time job. But, if someone's on here and they're like, well, that's overwhelming, I can't do that. I think the key is, what can you do? If you're a mom, and I've got the kids and, things. So do you have an hour in the morning? Maybe yours is an hour in the evening. Maybe you only have 1 hour a day to work your business. I really feel like I went diamond working about 1 hour a day. And maybe it was 1 hour to 1 hour and a half, but it was always in the evenings, because my girls were 1 and 2 years old, and I would send messages. I would follow up, At that point, I was new, so I wasn't adding to my network yet, but I think it's those income-producing things. Are you scrolling, or are you sending messages? Are you following up with people, or are you, not even sure what you're doing? And so I love that, Katie. And then, does anybody have any questions you want to put in the chat before I ask her, 2 more things to share? If you have any questions, put in the chat. But so when you're figuring out who to message, are you messaging your likes? Are you messaging who views your stories? Are you messaging your comments? How do you decide who to reach out and message to on Facebook and Instagram? Are you just your followers?
I have actually found a way to print off my Instagram list.
Okay.
Like Instagram, my Instagram followers, but I have like way too many followers, so I just print off my following. And that really helped me, because if you're like me, I'm a checklist kind of person. Like, every day I have to check things off the list. And I used to not be that way, but this is how I love to work my business, is checking things off. So I have a clipboard right in front of me, And I just go down the list. That's it. And I'll just decide if, they look like maybe they'd be interested in being a distributor or they like the products. So I just kind of make that up as I go down my list. And same thing goes with Facebook. If you've ever watched there's some YouTube trainings on how to do it. But I just printed off my Facebook list and I just go down that and check it off and talk to them that way, same way I do on Instagram.
I love that. I love that. And someone said, what are the apps? So we have posts on our team page, you guys, about both of these apps, right, Kelly? About Cleaner and Captivate. So if you search on our Diamond Empire page, if you type at the search Cleaner, it will tell you about how to do that app. I believe Kelly Brown has a video of how to use it to unfollow. Captivate tells you how to use that, and it follows people for you so you don't have to hand select. So are you still hand selecting, Katie, when you follow, or are you more just using Captivate now to follow?
I just use Captivate. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's awesome. And guys, I really don't have many apps on my phone at all. Like I use PickTopGo. Let me tell you a few of the ones I use because I don't really have that many. And I love that because it doesn't get too overwhelming, because I know I was the type of person that was overwhelmed when it came to learning social media. It was like, what? I have to follow, unfollow, message, friend, like, like I really got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So keep it simple. The two is Captivate, Cleaner. I have Facebook and Messenger. I have Snapchat, but I just don't really use that. Instagram, YouTube to watch videos every once in a while that are business related. And I use Reach to do all of my follow-ups. I also text my team every single day. I have them in my Reach and I update it as I sign a new distributor. And I send them a motivational quote every single morning, which is really, really fun. They love it. It's kept me talking with my team every single day. And then, like I said, I use PickTopGo. And I use Google Photos, but really, guys, this changed my life, not for the business, but just in life in general, because I used to have a phone that was really small on gigs. And so I was able to have Google Photos save all of my photos. And I could delete all of my photos off my phone and still have storage. So that's a really awesome thing. And I use Google for everything. When it comes to charting, I use Google. I don't use the paper charts, but that's for a whole nother day. But I love keeping organized with that kind of stuff. And that's it. That's all I use. And
what about when it comes to working your Facebooks? Do you use a Facebook group for customers? Do you use lists? Do you no, you just your Facebook?
I'll be honest, lists really stressed me out. I wish that I could like lists because I like doing checklists and I like lists and things like that. But it just got really complicated for me and I love simple. And so I've noticed though that when I do message these people every single day, that my newsfeed changes every single day. And what's cool is that new people are seeing my posts every single day because I'm changing up my newsfeed based on who I'm talking to.
No, and that's 100% true, Katie. Yeah, because, and that I think that, and it's why I do have a list of potentials I put in. If they're new, I added and I can remember. It's not like, I'll quickly add into a potentials list purely so I can interact with those people. But if I message someone because it's their birthday, I started trying that. I would message people when it's their birthday. Guess what? They're always 100% in my newsfeed the next day. Always. If I message somebody, about I ordered cake pops or I ordered something from someone and I friend them, they're in my newsfeed the next day. So if all you're doing, and it's not bad, but it is keeping you from seeing stuff, if you're only liking and commenting on your team or your sidelines, which you still can do that, but you've got to have other people because that's all you're going to see. And so I think Katie, how she's, breaking the algorithm or whatever you want to call it, hacking it, is she's messaging new people every day on it from printing her list. So then she's seeing their stuff and friends of friends. So I think that's huge. What about, do you have any tips on how to stay out of Instagram jail?
Oh, Lordy, guys.
Because one of our doubles has said that she keeps getting an IG jail.
I do too. So don't worry.
Okay.
I want to bang my head against the wall. I actually got blocked from Friday of last week until Sunday of this past week. So
Oh
it was
no.
a
Okay.
very long time. That just shows I was really working hard. But here's a tip I learned because I got so frustrated that I was learning everything I could. If you message on Instagram, like whenever it says like, yeah, report a problem, I just said, I've been hacked. Oh no. And then they think that you actually have been hacked and they take away the block. So there's your
Okay.
tip. So another thing too is if I do get blocked, like for that whole week, I felt like, oh, I couldn't message. That's not the case. I actually sent out probably more messages in that week than ever before because I was unsending and resending messages. So that was a game changer for me because those are messages you've already sent. So Instagram can't block you again. So I just copy, unsend, paste, and then send it again. And then I can send out as many as I want to. So that's pretty awesome.
I love that. What about if it's okay? We'll end with this because I know we're about at our 45 minutes. But one of Danielle or Ben said, if it's the end of month and you're really trying to boost volume. So, or maybe I just challenged our whole team if they haven't yet gone Ruby. So team who's on here, if you are not yet Ruby, if you're not paid rank Ruby, if you've never hit Ruby, if you're distributor executive or Ruby, maybe that's lost rank. I want to see every single one of them go Ruby. We've got 19 days left. So if someone's trying to get volume, I want to see people go Ruby. What would you say? Okay, you have to tell me if you're taking a picture because I'm like crazy hands and mouth. It's almost like a joke. I'm like, hold on, let me I'll have to.
Let me check it out. Hang on. Oh yeah, you have like a fish face. Like
Okay. So we'll do.
Okay. Sorry, I like
Smile team.
Hang on, that didn't work. Now it did. Awesome.
Yay! No, but what would you say to someone going Ruby, Katie? Or how would you say, let's get, or someone that's trying to get some mad volume in, or
Okay, so I love examples. I think a good example is if, let's say, you have everybody there, you have all your distributors, but you don't have all of the people at 400. This drove me nuts for the longest time when I was first starting out because I didn't understand. I was like, why can't these people do this? And I just decided, quit it with them. Quit it with wondering if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's going to change everything for you guys. When you look at your chart as if it's your chart, not everybody else right now, okay? You're changing their lives, yes, but it's your chart and you have to do what you have to do to get yourself to where you want to go. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, is message. I'm going to reach out to as many people as I possibly can, and it will get extreme to people that I'm very close with. Aunts, uncles, cousins, best friends, those people who should have supported you, okay? So I reach out to them. I do host to post, but I don't do those often, but I will do those in those promotional months. I've in the past made a post that's not begging, but it's like, hey guys, I'm promoting and I'm really excited. I'm going to be hitting this awesome promotion. I could use some of your support. When you're using the word support, people love to support other people. So, that's when it changed the game for me is I was asking a little bit of support and I was getting volume that way. So if it's the last night and I've got to do whatever I got to do to get, let's say 120 more in volume, I'm going to go for the bigger packages. I am going to use my mindset trick to be system, 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 and have my mind on the system. And I always tell my team, start high, then work your way low. The reason why I say that is because when you talk to someone about the system, $147 loyal customer may sound like a doozy, right? But then you start working your way lower. If they don't like that price and they're like, oh, that's a little expensive, that's out of my budget, then I'll maybe be like, okay, what is your budget? They maybe tell me what their budget is. And then I could be like, well, you could get the greens out of this system, and then maybe I'll just get one greens. But then the next person I talk to is the same way. I start high. I work on those higher packages because it happens. I sign like crazy with higher packages. And when I was going triple, we were like the triple threat team. I seriously called us that. because all we did was focus on the triple threat. It was like 94 BV, and it literally helped every single person on my team promote. And so we all put in our mind, triple threat, triple threat, triple threat. So just reach out to those people, as many people as you can, and you can do this. That's the other thing. Don't lose doubt. Don't lose hope. Don't start doubting yourself. That's going to make it or break it for you on that promotion.
I love that. I love that. And I like that. I think so many times, I know I undersell. I'm like, oh, we'll just get this and then next month get this. But no, get the whole triple threat so you can see some results, and yeah, I love that. Oh, Katie, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yay. And when John is, when he is home, he's at a basketball game, I will get this uploaded because y'all know I still can't figure out how to upload.